I'm sorry, Andrew Weissman, but if I recall correctly, in 2018, you were one of the people who helped write the Mueller report, and you all botched the hell out of that.
And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought we would be here. I thought we were better as a country.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these sites that have been around for creating videos and all that, like text stock videos, they're done.
But that's why Canva was one of the first to get into doing AI.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And since 2020, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And some good news, we're just telling up the reach out this year, coming to an end, 2024, and we're going to go over 100,000 again this year. So I'm really happy about that. So as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live on December 7th. Now, for those people who are used to watching this live, we're broadcasting a little bit earlier today because I'm taking my parents out to an event this evening. So the two queens have given me grace for us to broadcast earlier today. And for some people, they like the earlier broadcast. I ain't going to tell you who, but someone likes the earlier broadcast time. So let's reach out and let's say hello to Aisha K. Staggers and Aisha LaLa Key. What's going on, queens?
Hi. Man, it's been busy.
Yeah. What's been going on? What's up? What's up?
Go ahead, Aisha.
Huh? We did a girlfriend's chat this week, which is up on the Patreon right now. That was a good conversation. Actually, it didn't require any editing. We really spoke our minds and we talked about a lot of different things. We covered a lot of topics. Some of the topics that we're going to cover today in more depth, because at the time there were different things going on, like with South Korea. That's going to be one of the things we're talking about today. But other than that, I have taken on what's going on in our country with the idea of focusing on my peace. So things like on the weekends and things, I am doing minimal, very, very, very minimal social media, spending more time reading and doing things that I enjoy, because there's going to be too much crazy 24/7, and we really need to do a lot more of our spiritual self, health, mental well-being, and keeping of our peace.
Okay. LaLa Key, what is going on in your world?
Well, we got a whole lot going on in my sister's case. There's been more corruption exposed down in Mississippi. I am also teaching a class coming up soon for home ownership. I do, like Aisha, am like just stepping back. And last weekend was Thanksgiving, and we had a beautiful time together. My husband and I had left all social media behind, and I had a beautiful time, not even looking at it. Then I picked it up on Monday, and within the first 10 minutes, I was like, that's enough. Everything was better.
Yep.
So it's like, we are going to have to protect our mental very much, because this will be nonstop. And I think most of you all know that Aisha and I both feel that way. Like, we want to help give you solutions. We're not going to focus on a whole bunch of the negative, but we are going to call your attention to the things that really matter and what you need to be paying attention to. And that protects your mental.
Yeah. And if you're still on X, honestly, I advise you to get away from it and go to Blue Sky. And one of the things I can say about Blue Sky that I like is that the pace of it, I think like a lot of younger people really like that quick pace of Twitter and all these other things. I like the slower pace of the way the news cycle unfolds there, because guess what? I can walk away and not feel like I've missed anything when I go back. With Twitter, it's like it's like a year happened in 12 hours, or a year happened in 2 hours, right? And it's like, what did I miss? What did I miss? And so people feel that obsession to keep going back and like, I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything. Please. I don't feel that way with Blue Sky. And so it's like life becomes much more enjoyable when you walk away from your social media obsession that way. You find things that you like to do. Like today, after we're done here, I plan on fixing myself a good meal, sitting in my recliner with feet up, playing with my sister's puppy at my feet because she likes to sit on the recliner, and I'm going to read for a couple of hours, and then I decided I'm going to listen to all the hits of 1986. No TV, nothing else on.
I love it.
Line, and that's it. Today it's 1986. The other day it was like 1996, but yeah.
Nice.
Things like that for my piece.
That's, it's interesting. The whole thing about Blue Sky. I'm just waiting to see how long it takes for the trolls to come, though.
Well,
but the thing is, the trolls are there. The trolls are there. Yeah, they are there. But there is, for example, Twitter forces you to have to deal with them. Their algorithms force you to have to deal with them. On Blue Sky, you can block them. You can block lists of them. You can filter out things to the point that you don't see them. The moment I started saying add to Blue Sky over 30, add to Blue Sky over 40, I noticed a lot of the younger trolls in those fan obsession, those stan communities. I don't see them. And not only that, but you know what I do? I'm almost at 1,000 followers on Blue Sky right now.
That just hit 100.
I'm like at 920 or so. And you know what? I stay on the ones that I follow. There's a following filter there that you can just click on the people that you follow and just read the things about people you follow. I can click on Black Sky, see what's going on. I'm done there. I go to Black Book Sky, see what Black people are talking about books, and get great recommendations. And then when I'm done there, I go to Print Sky and I see what's going on there. And then when I'm done with that, I get off. Period.
Yep.
So what stopped you from not leaving the platform on X?
What do you mean? The only thing I'm waiting for is to fully download my all of my tweets. And so I have that link. So that's something I'm going to actually work on doing tomorrow. And then I'm trying to find a good tweet deleter, because you can. I want to delete them. I'm going to go back, and after I download them, going to go and delete them, because I don't want to delete them one by one. So these deleters you can either delete all at once or like 10,000 at once. But I want to do that because the thing is that this Gork thing, they're going to start programming AI on your post on X. So I don't want that.
Wow.
So and then after he does that, the next thing is that he's going to start saying that he owns your intellectual property because he owns and that is why that's where that next that's where that next part is, when he starts doing the AI training on Gork. So that's why I'm going to do that. But the one thing I am not going to do is delete or deactivate the actual account, because that allows for someone to go in, or his trolls or bots, to take your account name and handle that people know you by and start posting as you. And like for all of us, for example, people can find our pictures online and just take that handle and put the picture and start posting like they are us. So I'm going to keep the handle, but it's going to pretty much be blank. And what I will end up doing probably is maybe just posting like one word posts, just so it looks like there's some activity, to the point that they don't delete it as spam or a bot. So I'm being very strategic in terms of how I make
very much so
because I don't trust him.
Okay, so Aisha, just as you were talking, I went in to reactivate my account so I can do exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially a realty goddess, because that's and the reason I started doing it that way, Lala, is because of you. When you had said before that somebody had tried to take your stuff before, and so that's when you made sure that I was like, you know what, and as a writer, the last thing I need is for someone to start saying that that's me, and they're writing under my handle. So I'm being very strategic
Very smart.
about that. So what I will probably end up doing, as opposed to maybe even just doing one word things, when I write articles on Medium, just posting the article there on X. So it looks like I'm using it for that reason, but I'm not going to read any responses. I'm not going to waste my time reading people's things. I don't care. I really, it's that little that I care about what people say on X. And one of the things I noticed on Blue Sky is that, people are like, well, I'm not sure about how this works. The thing of it is that I've noticed the people that have stayed at X are people who have these large amounts of followers and are obsessed with people responding to them, are obsessed with people, they're obsessed with people in their interactions, and they're obsessed with their viral moments. And those people can't walk away from it.
Okay. So just to get a little bit more understanding before we go to break. So can you post video?
And I don't care about fame like that. So
can you post video links on Blue Sky like you could on X?
I was able to post things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to start doing I haven't got into it yet, but I'm going to do some more testing on that. So JJ Mars says, hey, Dr. Vibe and Chat, surprised you're here early for Saturday. I'm JJ Mars. We're earlier and you're still here. So this is wonderful from Colorado to like a few hours ahead of us, but you're here. The reason why we're here is because I'm taking my parents out to an event this evening. So that's why we're earlier today. So Blue Sky, I'm going to spend some time. Actually, I have been spending the last few weeks trying to learn some new platforms. So Blue Sky is one of those things. That's what I usually like to do during the holiday season when there's less distractions. Learn some new things. Have my to learn list. So that's good. But good. All right. So we are going to take a quick little break, and bear with me production-wise. We're going to show a very special video for all of you to watch, and please take heed of.
As we enter into the holiday season, I would like to take this time to address something near and dear to my heart. As an international real estate agent since 2006, I've dedicated my career to guiding others through one of the most life-significant journeys, homeownership. I've seen firsthand how informed decisions can transform lives, turning dreams into realities. But today, I want to address a deeply personal matter, one that has altered my life and the lives of countless others. Two beautiful souls, my beloved sisters, Azure and Valerie, were taken tragically from us by a drunk driver in January 2023. Their absence is a void that words cannot fill, a reminder of how fleeting and precious life is. Their laughter, their dreams, and their love for life were extinguished in a moment of reckless irresponsibility. I implore you from the depths of my heart, which is still mending, never to get behind the wheel while impaired. Driving under the influence is not just a poor decision, it's a lethal gamble with your life and lives of others. Each time someone chooses to drive drunk, they risk becoming the cause of an irreversible tragedy, much like the ones that took my sisters. In my profession, I emphasize the power of education and informed decisions. The same principles apply here. Understand the risks, recognize the consequences, and know that no destination or convenience is worth the price of a human life. There are always alternatives. Call a taxi, use a rideshare service, or stay where you are. It's a small choice that you can make to save lives, including your own. There are just too many options to make an excuse for drunk driving. Uber, Lyft, cab, friend driving you home. Just put the keys down. It's not worth it. Like buying or selling a home, life's journey is emotional and rewarding, but unlike a property transaction, some choices have no second chances. Please choose life, choose responsibility, and remember that every decision behind the wheel affects not just you, but families, communities, and future generations. With a plea for safety and a heart full of hope, I wish you happy holidays. May your home be filled with joy, love, and peace. I'm Laura Key, the Realty Goddess. Be the light.
Impressive.
Yes.
Impressive. So everybody, please watch that. And I know it's hard for Laura or for Lala. So Lala, if you need a few moments, I can take you off stage and we'll come back to you in a minute. So, all right. Fully understood.
It is never easy at these times of year when you lose people tragically. Christmas time is even harder for a lot of people, and so people try to a lot of people experience loneliness. So they try to drown their pain in ways using things like alcohol, or people think that they're having a festive time and drink too much, and just the driving is it's just something that you just really shouldn't do. I always say to people, there's no place that I need to get to that is that important that I need to risk my life. I thought about that last night. Actually, last night as I was driving home, my daughter was in the car with me, and I'm like, people were trying to speed past me. This is at night, and as it is, I was doing a little above the speed limit, so I was like at 70. But people were speeding past me at 85 and 95 miles an hour, and I'm like, usually when that happens, I'm like, where is there a police officer when you need one? Well, last night, I was like, told my daughter, I said, see that police officer right there with their red and blues on is why I am driving the speed limit. This car came through, zipping through on the interstate, zipping through cars, speeding, and that police officer chased them. And honestly, they were still chasing them when we got off the highway.
Wow.
And so you really want to be careful with that. There was a guy here recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, young black man, who had to turn himself into the police because he got caught and they couldn't catch him. He was doing 126 on the interstate.
How much?
126.
Whoa.
And and so I always, people are driving faster and faster.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, it's easy on the interstate. I find myself sometimes, and I tend to have a lead foot sometimes.
Okay.
But I find myself going, and I'm like, my God, how did I get up to 85? I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right, because these cars, first of all, I grew up and my first cars were always manual. So when you drive a manual car, you have a little bit more control over how much gas is going and how fast you're going. You have better control over your speed than you do with automatics.
Yeah.
And so it's just, with the drinking, I want people to be very careful in the drinking and driving over the holidays. And also, if you are lonely, if you're feeling stressed, depressed, please reach out. I had a friend that I went to high school with, grew up with. 10 years ago now, he committed suicide on Christmas Day because he was just so lonely. He'd lost his mother, he'd lost his sister. He felt like he had no one. And Christmas Day was his birthday. And that night he jumped off a roof of his building. So just those two things.
You okay, Lala? You told me that you're back. Okay, good. I just want to also share that not everyone has a good time during the holiday season. Mm-hmm. I guess two little quick stories. I lost someone very, very close to me a long, long time ago. And the holiday season for a long time was a very, very, very difficult time for me. And it's still in some ways is a very difficult time for me. And then you never know what other people are going through. I was at an event about 2 weeks ago. It was a really cool event. It was called a Connecting for Change dinner. And the person who holds these, she only invites 12 people. And most of the people didn't know each other, but she just knew that they were the right people through word of mouth, etc. And she has 2 tables of 6, and you get served a 5-course meal. And the chef is cooking it basically right in front of you.
Wow.
Very cool. But she has a theme for every dinner. And the theme for this one was about care. And she said, I asked the question, one of the questions she asked us is, how do you show care? What does care mean to you? And our table, it sits, we went in on that for like an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was 6 questions we were supposed to cover. We only got through that one. And all about care.
Wow.
It was really I'm still talking about it because it was just an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Amazing experience just with people you don't know, and all people doing great things. But one of the ladies there is from the Middle East, and she was sharing how she is lost in the Middle East, I think Lebanon, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This year, 15 friends and relatives.
Wow.
That's almost just way too much to bear.
When she told me that, I couldn't comprehend it. That's just whoa. But so, during the holiday season, there are people, and I think I'll say the more I hear of people hurting, the more people I hear are hurting.
Yeah, and you know that saying that hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
So, sometimes you have to be mindful that people who are hurting you, it's a projection of their own pain.
Yeah.
100%. All right, let's see if we can you turn the energy a little bit here. Okay. So, as Aisha mentioned earlier, Girlfriends Chat with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. Check out a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Primetime Saturday store is here. Join the Discord group. So I hope, ladies, I've been posting a little bit more in Discord lately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the other thing that we have to stop doing is we have our private chat. We post more there than we do on the public part.
I'm doing on both. I'm
trying to do that because I go in and I forget that the stories that I'm posting and we start having these conversations, they're not public. So we have to start doing that. That's my commitment.
No
for
problem.
the new year to do more is to be more mindful of that we're posting on the public one.
There we go. Subscribe to the doctor. Sometimes we have that drop every once in a while. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Just today, past 1,620 subscribers. Yes. So let's get to 1,630. I like to go small increments, and then follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on the show. Please email me at dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. And also, coming up on December 21st, it'll be our last show of the year. We're going to do an Ask Us Anything with these 2 queens, and hopefully we're going to invite 1 or 2 more queens to ask us anything. I am excited about that. Haven't done one in a long time. So, with all that preamble, let's get to some conversation pieces. This is a hot one. Walmart's new Love Jones commercial with Nia Long and Lawrence Tate has some black folks furious. Who wants to start on that?
Well, if you haven't seen the commercial, it's kind of like a Love Jones Part 2. Basically, their characters married and their child videotaping them doing this gift exchange. But the reason that black folks are mad is because Walmart, the same week that they do this Love Jones commercial, and also, mind you, have another Christmas commercial where they are using the Temptations' I Wanna Love I Can See song, Walmart has pulled back on their DEI initiatives in response to backlash from the Trump administration and MAGA and all those folks. And so while capitulating to pressure from the right, they're also over here still wanting to pocket Black folks' money. That is basically the long and the short of it.
And the thing is, they just rolled back DEI, all these things, and now here they are acting like that. Oh, we are loving everybody. They are not. And here's the thing: I want to explain something that has happened. When people found out about them rolling back the DEI, when our community, the Black community, found that out, they really did put a dent in Black Friday. The foot traffic definitely went down over the scheme of things. And people really started seeing that once we really do this, it impacts these companies. And so I can tell you right now that I already know that I have 10 friends who has said never stepping foot back in there again.
Yeah.
And they mean it. And there's also a really good app that you can download on Android as well as
iPhone,
Apple,
iOS.
Yeah, but it's called Goods Unite Us, GUU, and you can go on and you could put in a company, and it will tell you their political leanings, or if they don't donate at all, or if they just don't speak on that. So it's really showing an impact. It's not just with Walmart. These companies are going to try. If the Black dollar was not important, they wouldn't be doing these type of commercials and putting these ads out to get your business back. I tell you to stand firm. Walmart will never see a dime from me. There are many other companies as well that I will not do. Home Depot, and I just heard Lowe's. Planet Fitness. Yep, people are canceling Planet Fitness. And check this one out, because we talked about this, I think, in our Discord, but and on girlfriend chat. But believe it or not, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles, Trump supporters. Yeah. And now they're trying to backtrack. And matter of fact, no one can even determine if they're still a Black-owned company. I seriously doubt it.
I don't think so either.
They were in so much financial trouble. They had filed bankruptcy. They closed the Pasadena store. And so quietly, I do believe, because it still shows the same gentleman's name, but quietly, I do believe that he sold it off. Because if you look at their commercials and you look at their social media, it's a Hispanic family that's always posting and doing things there. So when they got called out on that, there's been a lot of controversy about that, because, honey, ain't nobody going to the hood for no Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I'm going to tell you, I'm from LA. I'm in LA. I don't go there without my husband. I don't go to any of those without my husband. Not there.
Lala, what you're saying is oh my gosh, it is so amazing. I downloaded that app after you shared it with us, and have gone through, have shared it with my family. My family's downloaded it. This is something that we're going to have to do collectively as Black people. These people want to pull back on DEI initiatives. Basically, it's not just about selling products to us. It's also about hiring us, having us in positions of power, decision-making positions, having us at the table when you do advertising and marketing to our communities. If you're not going to do that, if you're basically going to say, we don't want your brain power, but we do want your dollars. We don't want your, we don't want you as part of our culture, our business culture, but we want your money to build a business culture that does not include you, then we need to start taking our dollars to those companies that do appreciate having us. And that also means, you know what, having to break it down, bite the bullet, and spend a little bit more in buying Black. And then also demanding that Black-owned businesses, when they get our business, treat us like good customers that will be repeat customers. Because that's another complaint sometimes that people have with Black people have with Black-owned businesses, is that they don't feel valued as customers. So yeah, we're going to have to take a step back and look at how we now invest our money, where we invest our money, and and that we are being included in the culture and not as an afterthought because they want our money.
And
go ahead.
it's so easy. I'm sorry. It's just so easy to do a little bit of homework now that you have these apps that are easy to do. Like here's an example. Like after all that happened, after this blew up on TikTok, because it was a TikTok creator, Epicurus Creations, who called them out about it. She's from LA and she reverse engineered their recipe and gave it to everybody because she was like, since y'all want to play with us, this is what we're going to do. And within a day, Roscoe's had to turn off their comments. And then they had nerve enough to contact her and say, well, that ain't going to taste as good as ours anyway. And just so you know, our business is up 20%. How you know your business is up for 20%? She just posted it yesterday. So if you don't think that you have the power, I'm telling you, you do. And when we unite this power, it is a strong thing. Don't get weak, because you can get weak because sometimes, Walmart's prices are just a little. Well, why are Walmart's prices just a little? Because they don't care about their employees. They don't care about what they're doing. And this is a shame, honestly. When it first came out, remember, everything was America, everything made in America. And then the kids took over and now everything's in China.
Yeah.
You can do this. There are many places that you can go. Even try Etsy. Etsy itself is actually a good company to shop from. Go find a small business, because they actually have sections that say Black-owned business.
They sure do.
You don't have to have things overnight, guys. You don't have to. You just got spoiled.
Yeah. And this is the other part of it too. Remember this part about Walmart too. While they're not including us with their exclusion of DEI practices, they're trying to market to us. They told us already, you're trying to save pennies. They already told you that they're raising the prices because of the tariffs. Because remember, they get the majority of their goods from China. So you won't be saving anything by going to them. If they're saying they're going to raise their prices already, you might as well just go to Target.
Yeah, who is definitely a good place to shop. But I want to call to your attention something else, okay? Don't just get caught up in the fact of where you're shopping. Because you see, when you go to Target, when you go to Walmart, you're also buying other products. So what you want to do is look up the products that you use every day. Are they supportive? Are they not? Is it time for you to switch brand? You know, I'm willing to give up about a notch worth of toilet paper if I find out that my favorite toilet paper people support Trump. I'm sorry, it is that serious. And I'm really sick and tired, because I've had people tell me this week. You're going to lose friendships over politics? Baby, we on a different level. On a different level right now. You keep telling me that I'm unfriending you because of your No, baby, I'm unfriending you for the principles and the morality that goes behind that. So no, this is a different level. This isn't just me not liking you because of politics, because I can disagree with you over politics. It's when your hate stands behind that. Right. I cannot have you in my circle.
Yeah. And I agree, because guess what? It'd be different if you said, oh, he's going to do this with the economy. He's going to do this. Guess what? He didn't have any policies for you to say that this is why I support him. You voted for a convicted felon, which if it was a Black person, you would not vote for that convicted felon. You voted for a racist and you voted for a rapist. So I am happy enough to say that I don't have any friendships or any business connections or network with anybody who supports that person. I try to stay away from those people as much as possible. And you know what? Even more so, I don't shop in those towns. Because Connecticut is really pretty much a blue area, but there are pockets, of course, of red places. And guess what? I don't go to those places and spend my money. If I drive down a neighborhood in the town and I see nothing but Trump signs, people still have them up. You know what? I'm not spending my money in this area.
All right. I just want to bring it back here. JJ Marr says, I've tried in the past to confirm the actually number statistics on the corporate committed these organizations have with the Black community. The information is hard to confirm. He also says corporations doctor their figures all the time.
Well, here's where you have to go through. You have to go through the EEOC because they collect all that information because the information you want to know is not just about who's spending money there. You want to know who they're hiring, who their employees are, who's in the corporate part of that. And these are things that they honestly have to report, because remember, they get tax breaks and incentives and things behind that. People obviously file their taxes, and so they're able to aggregate that information well. The ACLU also keeps really good tabs on these organizations and these businesses. So it's about where you get the information from, because on their web, you're not going to get it from the company. You're not going to get true information on their websites, but you can get it from places like the ACLU, people who have sued to get the accurate information. So be mindful of that. So it's hard to find, but there are organizations that work very hard at getting the true information.
And you also have to still be very, very careful, even when I'm telling you to get down to the nitty gritty with companies, because there are a lot of people who won't put their face up, but they'll put a lot of Black products up, and they will pretend like they are one of the community, and they are not. So it's worth the digging, because once I find a really good one, you better bet I'm sticking with them.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
All right. So JJ Marster says the Community Reinvesting Banking Act years ago is a prime example about corporations doctoring their figures. Do you feel, because of the trend in political, social in America, is this one of the best opportunities for the Black Americans to align themselves with each other and use their economic force for change?
Yes, I absolutely do. Because here's the thing. We are going to see over the next few years, let me back that up. White America, specifically white men, are very scared about 2030. 2030, there are projections out there that the numbers will flip and you will have a 52% minority country and a 48% white American population. And so, being aware of this, they intend to spend these next 4 years rolling back as much progress from the prior millennium as they can. And you're going to see a bigger rise in conservatism. You're going to see 1980s level Reagan era conservatism on steroids over the next 4 years. And what they're going to do with that is try to erase all the progress, because the problem is that they are scared. And not only are they scared of these numbers, they are afraid of, and I get this from just what they say, and just watch what they say, read what they say, and just think about it. They really honestly are afraid that all these people of color, all these communities that they have marginalized, are going to do to them the things that they have done to us the moment the numbers shift. That is why all this stuff behind the abortion rights, that's why this is such a big sticking point for them. When that dude said, "Your body, my choice," that's what he's talking about. It's my choice because I don't want to be a minority. Because guess what? We know how we treat minorities in this country. Yeah. There's that part. You have them just yesterday, Supreme Court, they were trying to talk about gender affirming care for not just people who want to have that for their life choices and how they want to live and present themselves, but also too, there are therapies and treatments that people use for other reasons. I thought about that, and I was thinking about that, and I'm like, gender affirming care, what happens when people have children that are born with genitalia of both genders? Because it happens.
Yes.
the parents,
they act like these things don't exist.
Right. They act like these things don't exist and don't happen. So what you're going to see a lot of in this country over the next 4 years is this rolling back. And when he said make America great again, they are trying, and he said the 1700s, they're trying to get back to that, because for them, that was a glory time. You know, they had all the power, all the people of color, all the marginalized people, they knew their place. And so as we are looking at that, we have to figure out ways to combat that over 4 years. And I think this mobilizing our financial power and our political power is one way to do it. The other way to do it is by keeping our peace and not engaging in the drama.
Yeah, don't engage.
Because the one thing that they love to see us squirm. And the more that you confront them with with drama, without the drama is it's going to make a difference. What was that I told you and Jill the other day, Lala, about the thing that we need to do is to not show anger, but just show indifference?
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of the exact words, but it stuck with me because that's when I kind of had a shift of feeling, because right now there's just so much anger going through me because I feel like I'm in a constant battle. But if you show that to them, then you're feeding into the madness.
Right.
And I can't think of what your exact words were, but they were,
I know, I'm trying to look through my phone right now.
Listen to girlfriend's chat. Go listen to girlfriend's chat.
But
you're going to get
but I had texted to Jill and Lala about how we need to approach these next 4 years, like when white people try to get a rile out of you. Showing indifference and that you do not care. You don't have to tell them that you don't care, and don't kill them with kindness. Just be like, okay, and because the thing is that they want the attention. They want to send people who are used to centering themselves don't know what to do with themselves when you tell them that they're not important to you.
Right. They lose their mind.
Lala, I know you're very passionate when it comes to finances, real estate, etc. What are some suggestions you can make to Black Americans and maybe just Black North Americans in regards to focusing on their economic power in the light of changing social political times?
This is what I want you to do, because they can't defund everything as quick as you think. It's going to take some time for them to get through some of these things that they're going to defund, which, by the way, Musk has decided to stick his nose into ACLU as well, which he has no business there. But here's what you need to do. There are many down payment programs that are nonprofit. You need to make sure that you go, and all you have to do is Google down payment assistance for home ownership and put in your county, put in your state. And then if you're interested in buying a home, then you need to contact them immediately so that you can get the assistance now, so that you can put your foot in a property. If that means you only can buy a studio condo right now, I urge you to just do that, because once you put your foot into one piece of property, you can launch into it later on. It may mean you may be a little squeezed for just a little while, but if you can get yourself on some property and even go in with someone, maybe buy a duplex where someone buys one side and you buy another. One thing you don't know is you can buy up to 4 units with an FHA loan. So, hey, maybe you and four other family members can get together to buy a home with down payment assistance. That's where I want you to start. If you're looking for home ownership, start with the down payment assistance programs immediately, not February 2nd, not March, now. Because a lot of the times, if you start now and you get your foot in the door, even if you don't buy a property this month, you still allot for that money that's in this year that has to be spent. So I want you to do that now. I actually have on my blog, on my website, and I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I'll find it and get the link so that we can put it up. A list of places you can go for each state for down payment assistance.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah, before we get to our next comment, some best practices over the next 4 years for Black consumers. Any thoughts, any suggestions? Because again, you've got the Walmart stuff. You're suggesting don't shop there. any suggestions before we move on? Because we could spend the whole rest of the show chatting about this. Just off the top, any suggestions for Black consumers?
Spend more of your time cooking at home. You'll save a lot more money than going out to these restaurants. A lot of these restaurants that you spend money out that you don't think of, oh, I'm going to run to McDonald's. McDonald's was one of those corporations that was on that list. Okay. So you've got to be more mindful, things of that nature. Like Lala said, grow patience. Patience is going to help you with a lot of wading through this. If you can't get that book that you want to get until next week, fine. If you're that impatient, you know what? Go to your public library and ask your public library for an interlibrary loan, because they can get it from another branch to you within a day or two. And so do those kinds of things rather than going to places like Amazon and things like that, where these people don't mean us any good.
I saw the Lala finger and the flash of her eyes. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, don't forget, guys, you know what? If your neighbor is growing vegetables and you are doing eggs, or you have something, our craft, you can barter. Don't forget, that's how we used to run things long ago. That's not dead. If start a community garden in your area. Someone got a green thumb, let them do it. Help them buy the seeds that you can share. You also can do that with meat, guys. I know some people are vegans, but I want to refresh you. Even as I was growing up, my parents would go in with 3 other families, and the Jewish community does this all the time. Buy a cow, buy a fish, something, buy a sheep, and then you would share into that when it was time to do that. So you need to now take yourself back to the things that we used to do, that we've gotten so comfortable with us not doing, and now go back to the basic principles.
Yeah. You know what you just said about the family buying? My family and like 2 other families, when I was growing up, they were, my father's good friends. They would go and they would buy like these there would be like these markets that would sell these packages of different things, and it would have it'd be like maybe $300, right? And they'd all go in and then split that up among the families, because it would like, for example, the meat would be a big thing, because they would have different parts of the cow. Everybody would just split that up, and that really is a good practice to get back into. I think the thing is, if they want to go back to certain things, we need to go back to certain things that we used to do as a community. And I think that is where we're going to make the biggest impact, is if they want to go back, fine, we can go back too. But guess what that also means? That also means bringing a lot of our intellect, our buying power, and our things back home. Because remember, when they wouldn't sell to us and they were nasty to us and all that stuff, what do? We had our own stuff. Or we had our own way of doing things.
There's no better time. And look at this. So some regulars from the evening time of our Eastern time show are here. Dr. Tate says, hello all. Hello, Dr. Tate. Yes, you're probably saying, what are you guys doing on live now? There's a reason why. Well, there's a reason why. Fitness IQ Cam says, hola. So this is good. And actually, on my morning vibe show, I had Wayne Harris, who's a financial educator, talk about consumerism and Blacks. So people should check out that, because we went in on that conversation yesterday. Yeah. And Soraya Machado Powell says, yes, get rid of Costco's and Sam Club too.
Oh, one more thing. People, try and pay off your credit card debt as much as you can. As much as you can between now and the end of January. And the reason I say that is because remember that piece of legislation that Joe Biden got done, where they reduced the late fees to $8, $7 and $8. That is one of the first things that they are going to try and get rid of. Why? Because the companies that benefited from charging you $35 and $50 for late fees on your credit cards are their friends. Period.
Yep. And I want to make a correction. Costco and Sam's Club, they are on the good list.
Yeah, Walmart doesn't own them anymore. Walmart used to own them. They don't anymore.
Okay. And Lala has been so kind. She has she's sharing a resource. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm gonna put in the comments and on the screen. I'm gonna put it. So what is this resource you're sharing with us, Lala? What is it?
That is a list of down payment programs for each state that I know of. That doesn't mean that it's a comprehensive list, because sometimes down payment assistance programs goes down to even neighborhoods, but it will at least get you started, because if you go to the main ones, you can also end up finding more resources for down payment.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, since I'm multi-purposing here, I'm going to just show that link up on the screen right now for everybody. And plus, I'm going to share it in the chat on most of the platforms that you're watching this live on the replay.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't have a chance to make it a short link.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, hey, Laura keys in it. That's the most important thing. That's the most important. No short link. Branding. Come on, you know that branding. All right. So let's. Oh, this is. And I know we're on a little bit early, but be it like. Dr. Tate, we're on early. Yes, we're on early because the two queens have allowed me to take my parents out to an event this evening. I got the queen's permission. So that's why we're on early. But there still will be prime times tonight on at 7 p.m. too. Not live, but okay. And Dr. Tate, of course, says, may the universe punish them. Dr. Tate is so just like, the only thing that could be better is if she was live saying that. But she has such great vernacular. Dr. Tate. All right. And she goes, Soraya says, I meant for families to shop together at Costco and Sam's Club. Wonderful. Yeah. Sarat, I'm all with you. All right, you got to come back more often. You're bringing it happen. And JB Mar says it would be great if Black communities had our own farmers like markets and not for food items.
Okay,
we
so
have the ability to do it.
No. I had this idea for creating a digital space for this kind of thing back in 2011, and I couldn't get anyone to help me or to sign up for it.
Okay, Aisha, I'm volunteering.
Okay, we need to chat offline about that then.
It was in the virtual space I wanted to create. There's a PBS has this virtual space of the civil rights movement, and you can go and do all these different explorations. I wanted to create it like a virtual mall experience online that people could go to, where you could just shop Black. And it wasn't just, you can get like because there are black spice makers, there are Black furniture makers, all those kinds of things that I wanted to create all that space.
100%.
And I went to several different people.
Let's chat about this offline. Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. And I know that the intelligent folk that we have online here, would you want to help us with that? Would you like to join it? Because I think
sign up for this. Email Dr. Vibe for the Discord. We will create a Discord channel to discuss how to get the process now.
Yes.
Yep. Because honestly, I think that the space of it, the problem is that we know that all these things exist, but there's not one market space for them to go and offer special discounts and have imagine if you had that, if that was live for a Black Friday.
We're gonna start this.
Right.
You and in our private chat, we're gonna give a name for it. We're gonna start putting that out there. That's a event. And the nice thing is it's not just North America based.
And that was my other thought too, is that it could be international.
That's the Lala Yin.
I'm in.
I think this is a beautiful idea.
I mean, people could sell life insurance and insurance that people need. Lala could do real estate. I mean, there could be all kinds of things. It could be a one-stop service where Black people could find everything that they would normally go shopping for out in their communities online by Black people.
I'm already thinking of names, but we'll chat about this off. I love this.
And I already had a name, and I actually already had a name for it.
No, don't give it out.
I won't.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, and I'll tell you the reason why after.
Okay, well, either after or in the Discord, but so definitely, I think we'll have this up before definitely within the next 2 weeks. And when we have it, I'll decide we'll make an announcement on the show that's closest to this being started up. We're good. All right. Man, I don't even feel like doing another show. This is this is so good. This is so good. So you see what happens, family? Take the anger and channel into something, right? Walmart wants to take advantage
action
and challenge and create something out of it. That is.
I also want to say something about this commercial that I want people to realize. A lot of the times, these commercials are recorded many months before the holiday season. So at that time, these two actors, Nina and Larenz, they probably didn't know that all this was going to happen. So please do not slam the actors. They are doing their job.
Okay,
this could have been done way back last year.
I'd like to know I'd love to get their feedback on
I would like
the current environment. What they have
Dr. Tate, what you know.
Okay, all right. Let's go to our next conversation piece. Joe Biden pardons his son.
Yes. I need Democrats to stop with the BS. Oh, we're better than this. He should. Yes, he should. And you know why? Because, like I said on Blue Sky, it is funny to me that the people who are so upset about this, about Joe Biden pardoning his son remember, it's not the taxing that people think it is, he's pardoning him because he lied on his gun application and said he wasn't actively a drug abuser. Okay, period. That is why he's being charged for that. Now, these are the same people who are upset about it, particularly on the right, who are upset about it, are the same people who don't want gun checks. They don't want mental health checks. They don't want people to have to report that they're drug users on their gun applications. They're all for open carry. And when your kid gets shot in school, they offer thoughts and prayers. Make it make sense. They don't want that stuff, but they're mad that he pardoned his son for the thing that they don't want. These are the most ignorant, stupid, backwards people ever, and they are running the country.
Trump pardoned his father-in-law, and now he's supposed to be over
his father-in-law. His father-in-law, LaLa, who sent a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law, who was
such a terrible story. Oh my gosh!
Was going to send the video of the interaction to the wife, who happened to be his sister.
So this is why I could care less if Biden pardoned his son, because you know what? I would, if that was my son and all this bullshit around, that's the least that I could do. And another thing, I kind of like it when Dark Brandon comes out, because I love the fact that he is doing things in silence. And then when he does it, everybody's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no, bro. This is the difference between Trump and Biden. He does things quietly. Now, do I always agree with what he does? No, because I'm still very, very firm on how I feel about what's going on in Gaza. Okay. That's just a major thing that I totally disagree with. But I see that he's doing things that are definitely impacting our community, like appointing all those judges and 39 of them being Black women. Okay. So now everybody's upset. And Trump was so upset about that he reached out to his cult members in Senate and Congress and said, you got to stop this. He can't be appointing those. Yes, he can. And he did.
Yep. You can't. And you know what else? Look, and now he's also looking at pardons of people like Peltier, the American Indian movement leader, who needs a pardon. People have been trying to do that. They're trying to get him to pardon other people and do preeminent pardons for people that are on Kash Patel's target list. And you know what? While we're talking about this, him in the pardons, I hope he goes in and pardons Judge Chutkan, Fannie Lewis, Tish James, all these people, because he's coming after them. And let me tell you, if you think he's not, you're crazy. But he's gonna put Kash Patel as director of the FBI. And if you know anything about history, if you have studied anything about history, he will be J. Edgar Hoover 2.0. We will have another COINTELPRO.
And don't forget, Musk has all this stuff. So
Yep.
who's on the team for that?
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting. The right is so upset about this, but they don't get upset about having a Dem who's a convicted felon as leader of their party.
Stay mad.
Well, you know, like we said, it's a cult. I literally sent Aisha and Jill a person who had a tattoo, a professional tattoo. Beautiful. It was a beautiful tattoo. And it says, Jesus trumps hate or something like that.
It trumps everything.
Trump's name was the all of the United States. Yeah, trumps everything.
And the T in everything from the Trump was a cross.
Yeah.
Do you think, I see one of the people that's I know Angela Rise pushed for, is it what's her Mosby in Washington?
Oh yes, who used to be the
Marilyn Mosby is, I think,
Marilyn
her name
Mosby,
is?
yeah, who's the mayor, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so but
yeah, she's on that list too, because she, you know, they went after her for something that her husband did that she had no knowledge of. Not only that, but they got mad at her for it was her own property.
Okay, so Doctor, just going back to our last set of comments, the Dr. says, wonderful that I'm taking my parents out. Thank you. And JG Mar says, not just for food items. Sorry. Yep. Well, that's what we were talking about. We're going to go all items. JG Mar says, Biden needs to pardon a few thousand of the black people helped locked up when he pushed the crime bill back in the 1990s. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, he's got about a month and a half, and what he needs to be doing right now, that list, every day he needs to add about 1,000 people to that list and just do a blanket 10,000 person pardon and be like, I'm handing out pardon, like you get a pardon, you get a pardon.
So I need education from both of you then. Once these individuals are pardoned, can they be charged again?
No.
Nope.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Aisha, is there a limit?
Nope. The pardon power is the sole power of the president. And guess what? They don't have to wait to the end of term to do it. Well, the reason that most do is because they know they can't be reelected again and face no political consequence from doing so. But remember, yeah. And what the other thing, and if pardons aren't possible, he can also commute sentences, which means people can get out of prison.
So here's what I'm hoping things are looking like at the White House right now. You get a pardon and you get a pardon. That's what I want. I want him to sit back and really look at this list and get it out. Because if you don't think Trump's going to do it, he will. And he's already done it. Most of the people that he is tapping into these positions, he's pardoned.
Yeah, he sure has. That is, you know, it's going to be an administration full of criminals and billionaires. Period.
That's
criminals and billionaires. And JJ Mars, to your point about the people locked up in the crime bill, some of them, yeah, a pardon, but the majority of them, he can commute the sentences, because for a lot of them, the reason the problem is that they got longer, tougher sentences for crack cocaine than people got for powder cocaine.
Yeah,
do it. Just do it.
So JJ Mars is on fire. This is both parties are crooked. Former Governor Jeb Bush from Florida, his daughter was an addict and he cried for her to be released and light punishment and got it.
But that happens with if you ever read these court transcripts and things, that happens with white people, affluent white people especially, all the time. They send Mima in there and say, oh, my son just doesn't, please have mercy on him. And these judges sit there and decide, okay, because the person that came in to plead for them looks like my grandma.
All right. So Lala put something up in the Discord group. I'm going to quickly put it up here. She was talking about it. You can't see it really well here, but if you look here, that's that person who has Jesus trumps. What is it? Jesus trumps what?
Everything.
Tattooed, a lady on her blade of her right shoulder. Wow. Wow, man, I keep on.
Oh, I can't wait till that skin wrinkles up, because some people don't age as well. When that skin wrinkles up and that Trump starts to sag. That's
Aisha LaLa, where you get this girl from today? Oh my gosh.
We all know. Well, look, we already done switched over to you do it. That's no longer our issue anymore. Don't come to us asking us how to fix. Don't come to us with your tears and your blue bracelets. Done. I have nothing to say to you, because you wanted this for whatever reason. You wanted this, whether you're hiding behind your religion, or whether you're hiding behind gun control, or you're hiding behind whatever. You did this, and you're not going to get me to help you to fix it. I'm tired.
And you know what? We're just here for the find out part.
Just
sitting with our popcorn. Who's it? The artist Nikki Free did this amazing picture of Black women sitting on top of a rooftop, drinking coffee. One of them has a T-shirt that says the 92%, and they're watching the country burn. And they're just sitting there with their cups of coffee. That is Black women. Get somebody else to do it. But we will watch the find out part of the mess around.
Yeah, and if y'all want to see that graphic, it's on Blue Sky underneath Aisha and I. Did you repost it, Aisha? Because I
reposted it, and it's my background on my Blue Sky account. Because in LaLa, I think you should revamp your shirts that say "Get somebody else to do it." Signed the 92%. That's what it should say.
No, Aisha, that's going into our
girlfriends.
Yes.
Oh, our girlfriends. Merchandise.
We're gonna do it on there.
Good. Oh yeah, we're gonna be selling some girlfriends merchandise to go along with our this merchandise for this show.
I'm just hanging out and watch. I'm in the audience now.
Yeah. But that's how we should do it. Get someone else to do it. Signed the 92%, because we're done. But look, I plan on sitting with my glass of wine and my popcorn every day as I watch things blow up. Because guess what? You know why we're going to be okay? Because we are choosing peace.
Yeah.
And when you choose peace, you are concerned about your family, your community, not anybody else. Good.
Just saying.
Soraya says, love that. So Soraya is in. Soraya is in.
Soraya is a huge supporter. I have to tell you, she's part of my real estate family, and I love her.
Wonderful. This is good, but man, like, you see, when we're not on for a week, see the madness that comes out of them, not me. I'm just watching. And I gotta say, one of the most beautiful animated faces I see is LaLa. When I know when something hits LaLa, I don't even have to hear her. I can just tell by her. She's one of those people back home, we say, your face speak.
Yes.
So Joe Biden pardoning his son, good. Pardon more people. Just start throwing them out, slinging them out. You know what? Sling them out like Nick Cannon slings out babies.
A lot of them.
There you go.
Why you want to bring him up to it? Oh my! Let's move on. I don't want to bring him into this. No, please and thank you, LaLa.
Yeah.
Elon Musk calls the ACLU to be defunded, but there's a problem.
Well, first of all, they're not government funded. And the reason that he wants to do this is because of how they help transgender. And he himself has a daughter in this community, which she speaks out about him all the time. But because of his homophobic feelings, he decided that the ACLU needs to be defunded. Well, first of all, you used to donate to them, dumb. So you should know how they will run, and they're not run by the government. And the ACLU is not only for that. They help people who need help with lawyers, attorneys, and legal things. They
Jobs,
do way more than just that.
Anti-Semitism,
there you go.
Language discrimination, disability discrimination, all that. And here's the thing. At this point, Elon Musk is just talking. He knows he literally is trying to have a viral moment on his own social media website that is failing. That is literally all this is. He's calling for it to be defunded. If you were really calling for it to be defunded, you would take that mess to Congress and your Doge, your little fake Doge committee, instead of going to your social media platform and calling it to be defunded there. At this point, here's the thing. This shows you right now how we are going to be governed. Remember, Donald Trump was governing from Twitter before.
Yeah.
He was
and having somebody read
Twitter.
stuff to
We
me.
are
Yeah.
back to being governed by a social media platform instead of announcements coming officially as they should. I need him. You know what? He's out here all this talk. And I said this on social media today. And I said this to my daughter, and I'm saying this here. JD Vance.
Girl.
JD Vance talked all that crap about what Vice President Harris should have done as vice president. Dude, you are VP elect. Meanwhile, this man out here is acting like he's the vice president. You're not doing your right job, JD Vance.
It's all planned. We're going to see this because what do they do, Aisha? Let's face it. What they do is they plant these nasty little seeds, just like this, so that the cult now all of a sudden, oh, we need to defund and defund until it gets so big that something gets done. So when they want to do something like this, they start at the root. They start with the cronies.
They start with the
start
language.
with the cult.
They start
with the language.
Example, we know that woke is a warning to be safe, take care of yourself, look over your shoulder, make sure you're protected. They took it to mean anything that they don't like, and they changed the definition. And it's like, you know, this whole thing about the defunding of he rampantly is just talking about defunding things, and he should be very careful and very quiet about these things, because guess what? The first thing that somebody needs to hand him the day he gets his keys to his office is all the regulations on all the things that are funded by the government, because that'll keep him swamped up in his office forever. Because he doesn't know how things are funded. He doesn't know anything. He's dumb. He is dumb. He is trying to play smart, but he is dumb. He's a dumb Nepo baby. That is it. We have a bunch of dumb people.
Yep.
Each person that he appoints is dumber than the next. My brain wants to bleed every time he announces another person, and I find out how literally freaking stupid they are. We got alcohol and rapists running DOD, a militant Nazi red Barbie. When I mean red, and I mean Russia red, communist Barbie running whatever it is that she's over. We've got a dog killer over Homeland Security. Over the Department of Education, we have a woman that looks the other way while her husband sexually assaults people and doesn't even know that she didn't go to college for education and doesn't have a degree in education. She was just a substitute teacher. I mean, come on. Where are we getting these people? This is not even central casting anymore. He's pulling them out the gutter just because they have money. I have never seen more rich trash in my life.
It's all whoever has done him favor, and also all who desire the power that they perceive him to have. So this is never, ever, ever about you. You understand? I need you to understand that. None of this is about you. It is about what they can put in their pocket and what they can do to become the trillionaires that they wish to be. Musk has said many, many times that is what he wants to be, is the first trillionaire. And guess who's going to make that happen for him? Trump.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. If Elon Musk, you want to talk about calling ACLU to be defunded, how about we defund SpaceX? Because you shouldn't have $3 billion in government contracts when you're working for the federal government. That to me is asinine, it's stupid, and it's a waste of money. You know what? Talk about we're gonna cut $2 trillion from the deficit. Hey, start with SpaceX. Cut $3 billion right there. On your way. You're on your way.
You know who else he's after? You know who else he's after? And he's already planted the seeds? Jaguar.
Yeah. Why?
Because
Because
they
that's
came
his
out
competitor.
with, there you go.
It's
They
his
came out with
competitor.
a new model.
Yes,
And
I
so
heard about it.
therefore, he is furious about that, and he has started his rampage against that.
Well, you know what? You know what, Elon? You want to compete better in the auto industry? Stop being such an first of all, period. And then design cars that are attractive. Your cars are ugly. They look like space beetles. They're ugly.
They do. They're horrible.
They just look like circles with windows.
But let's just be clear before we move on from this idiot.
Jeez.
Because I can't even stand his name. If y'all notice, I always stutter on his name.
Yes, I know you do.
You know, it makes me mad.
Right. But here's the thing. He knows that he is in the right position, and he has put himself in that right position. And so has everyone else who's going to fall under this. What we need to do, just like we said earlier, is to make sure that we take care of our own and make sure that we are the ones who are buying and bartering with our own.
Focus your energy on each other.
Yeah, focus your energy on each other, because this man, and don't forget, oh, by the way, you know, it was found out that he didn't come here properly either.
Right.
Just like Milani didn't come here right.
These are my behind.
So now y'all all talking about these immigrants, but you're the ones who broke the law. Nobody's really talking about that, but I want you to hear what I just said. They want to get rid of your immigrants, and they want to send them to the Bahamas. And the Bahamas said, are you crazy? No. Trump went to the people of the Bahamas and said, will you take the immigrants, or those the countries won't take back? And they said, no.
Yep.
They haven't thought out any kind of plan. So,
well, the other thing we need to be worried about is our national safety. While Trump is over there kikiing it up with Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, China said, "Oh, you want to do tariffs? Okay, guess what? We are no longer exporting certain minerals to you that you require to make your chips. But guess what? We also use them to make our nuclear weapons." So while Donald Trump is kissing the feet of Vladimir Putin and exposing us vulnerably to a guy who will not stop making nuclear weapons, we can no longer get what we need to make ours, because China cut us off. And if you keep messing around, China's going to fall in that debt.
Big old gold mine.
Yep.
They don't need us anymore.
They don't need us. And look, even worse, now that they have that, we need to be really scared, because if China decides, if Trump pisses them off enough, and China says, guess what? We're going to call in our debt right now. You all owe us. We want our money now, or we're going to send some weapons over there.
I was going to bring up another topic, but I know time is, but I think before the end of the year, we got to talk about this whole thing about tariffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's not talk about it now, maybe next time, but especially how 47 last week said he wants to do 100% tariff on the members of BRICS. One of them being Russia.
I think that's the first conversation we need to have at our first show of the new year. It'll be right before
everything comes down, and so I'm gonna ask a favor of Lala.
Yes.
Maybe either doing a video or a post on how to prepare for these tariffs.
Yes.
Because if they come through, we're gonna be affected in Canada. Yeah. Mexico is going to be affected. This could cause a global recession.
Ain't no could.
Yeah,
it will.
I do love, but you got to give it to the president of Mexico, who is a woman. When he tried to tell her, this is what we do, and she said, "Oh, sir, most certainly not." And then he tried to lie about their conversation. She told him, maybe you need to do something about the drug addicts in your country.
Whoa, yeah, I heard her say that. That.
And then he went and tried to spin the conversation. She went out there and said, "No, I told him you guys need to deal with your drug addicts."
And don't forget, guys, they're also, y'all think America is the only one dealing with immigrants. Mexico is deporting Americans.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
As
they should.
Wow.
And it's up. It's all the way up. So don't just think that everybody's coming to America, especially not now.
Yeah.
But Americans are so, and because they are absolutely
Wow, I didn't know
disrupting
that.
their economic system down there. And they're completely disrupting it, and they're like, you know what, you got to go. You're not even supposed to be here. If you want to be here, there's a way to do it, and there is a way to do it, guys. It's called visas. Do it the right way. But no, Americans are so into themselves, and they think that they're above everyone else's country that they just go down there and stay.
Yeah.
Okay. Comments. JJ Mar says Mutz is very similar to Werner von Braun, SS German aerospace during World War II. He also says Musk is the undisputed king of corporate government handouts, neo-fascist. Aerospace engineer, sorry, keyboard is trash. Soraya says other countries view the U.S. as a joke. Now it will be run by unprepared nitwits. The positions are payoffs for favors. And hello, just Tornado. Good to see you again. Fantastic.
Like we said in our last conversation, there was one black job. And of course, and as you all expect, and of course, he will be running HUD.
Yep.
Yeah, why my department?
Oh boy. All right. Let's go to a really crazy story that happened this week. UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson shot dead in New York. Wow.
If they wanted that man, y'all, let me tell you what I feel right now up front. If they really wanted that man, they would have had that man. I can find that man. Do you understand how good I am with true crime? Me and Aisha will probably have that man in 24 hours. We done saw his face. We done saw where he shot. We done saw where he went. And y'all telling me you still can't find this man? Don't think so. This was a hit by somebody up top.
Yep. Well, here's the thing. Because my mother was telling me this because she'd read this, that apparently he was being investigated along with 3 other people on insider trading or something to that effect. And my thought was that he must have been about to make a deal because his wife said that he was getting threatening phone calls or whatever. I think that he was probably about to make a deal and talk, and somebody wanted him quiet, right? And the reason that they might not be able to find the face, like you said, Lala and I watched a lot of true crime. I also watch a lot of CSI Miami. And this one episode came to me that I was watching the other day where this guy used AI to make a mask. He used AI to make a mask and then printed it on a 3D printer to look like he was somebody else that doesn't exist. So on the facial software, they thought they were looking at one person, and that person just happened to be out the country, and they realized it was a mask. Yeah. And
so let's come back though to this story. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch it unfold. But yeah. And the next day, Lala sent us a message in our girlfriend's text chat that the next day they'd already listed his job, which they had to because a corporation that big, the interim can't they can't look unstable. The interim had to be made permanent. So, HR.
Well, check this out. That's not even the worst of it. So while they had to post this job the next day, they've also had to take down all other companies. They've all had to take down their CEO pictures and who they are because they're in danger. But check this out. He was on his way to a shareholders meeting. They literally had to step over him in the scene to get to the meeting and still have that meeting while that man was still being down there investigated.
Because they had to nominate an interim. They had to nominate an interim. They had to step over him to nominate an interim because they couldn't do business as usual.
Nope.
CEO is dead.
Both of you, when you first heard this story, what was your reaction the first time?
My first reaction was a hit.
Well, when I live in the tri-state area, so we get New York news. It's our local news, and I heard that and I'm like, that don't sound right. That doesn't sound like a random shooting. All these other people on the street, and they put bullets in the back of this person. That man was being followed. This was someone who who's paid more than $50,000 because
you got that right.
We watch enough true crime to know you pay anybody you pay less than $50,000, they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna be real sloppy. You're gonna find them. They can't find this guy. He was paid more than $50,000, and that's a shame.
If you look at the video, it was too smooth.
Yeah,
no, it was too smooth. It wasn't him looking to see if anybody else was around. My man pulled that out with his pew 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 and walked off just as calm. Calm.
And Thompson,
which means he also was being.
Yeah. And Thompson had been in New York for a month, they said. He'd been there for a month. So this person was laying in wait, watching. They knew the bullets were a message. The fact that it said what? Deny, debate, depose.
Something like that.
They tried to make it look like it might have been a disgruntled person with not employee, a disgruntled person over their healthcare, but nah.
That's what it said. Deny, defend, depose. But this even goes deeper though than just this, guys, because honestly, UnitedHealthcare was not paying doctors. They were not paying claims. People who needed life and death things happened, got denied. So much so that they weren't paying a lot of these doctors, that a lot of the doctors had to go bankrupt. And guess what they did? They stepped in and said, oh, we won't let you do that. We'll buy your office. So now UnitedHealthcare owns a lot of these doctors' offices. This goes so much deeper. This actually is also tied into Bitcoin.
Let's not start.
This undeniably had an impact on the next conversation about Anthem.
Well, okay, just so before we get to our next story, people may or may not know that Mr. Thompson had been facing insider trading allegations.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, class action lawsuit filed by a pension fund in May 2024 alleged that Mr. Thompson sold $15 million of his United Health Group shares when he knew that the company was under investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice.
Didn't I tell y'all to invest and uninvest in things that the rich people are doing? I'm going to say that over and over on each show. You have a right to see what these people are putting their money into, and that's what you need to do. When they pull, you pull.
Yep, and we posted this last week, so go back and watch. Not last week, week before last, the show from then. Go back and watch because we talked about the websites that you can look at to see where all the politicians are investing their money. Look to see what they're investing in and invest.
All right, next story. South Korea lifts martial law after parliament protesters reject it. I still don't fully grasp this story. Can either of you two enlighten me on this?
Well, I have a feeling it has to do with not just our election, but with Russia, what's going on with Russia and North Korea, and the fact that they're going to be even more empowered by this Trump administration. In South Korea, the president didn't want to be in the middle of that. But the people are like, look, we are not those countries. We are not those countries.
And they also have a very heavy democratic system. And the fact that he just did this and then tried to shut out and shut down the rest of the government, the Korean people said, not today. This is not how we do things. And when I say they mean not today, this woman literally during the martial law thing put her hand on the gun and looked at that guy who was the law enforcement and looked at him and like, I dare you. She was willing to die for the right for her democracy. And now everyone is calling for him to step down and to resign immediately.
And I think that he will, because that the thing is that he has no additional political prospects after this. So he might it's like at this point you're done. You can either quit now, or you can go through and finish out your term, but know that you're going to meet blowback, and people are going to stand up to you at every point in your parliament. You're going to stop you from.
Well, okay. So I'm just taking a quick look here. So I'm reading from The Guardian 5 hours ago. The motion to impeach South Korean president fails after vote by boycott. So it looks like he's still going to go on.
baby, he might go on in that way.
Yeah,
but y'all better
and
watch
it doesn't
close.
look at it, and it doesn't mean that they can't bring it up again. If it's a vote boycott, that means that those members of parliament decided that they weren't going to show up to vote at all. They're not doing
Right.
any government business, which should be scarier to him, because if they're boycotting now, that doesn't mean that when they do decide to come back, they're not going to get rid of him.
Well,
This man is actually in danger now. He doesn't realize that he thought that he was going to pull this coup, and it's not going to work.
He's about as safe in maintaining his role as president as Donald Trump is from J.D. Vance slipping arsenic in his Diet Coke.
You really have it out for J.D. Vance, man. What's up?
Because
this ain't my administration.
Let me just say this. I told my daughter, always told my daughter this. My aunt, who God rest her soul, always told me this. You got to watch out for them quiet ones.
Yes, you do.
He's being real quiet while all this other stuff is going on. Can't be trusted. And I'm not into giving advice to Donald Trump, but I would never drink an open drink near that man, or leave my drink open when that man was in the room, just me and him by himself.
So just Toronado says, was C-19 in 2020 not an ML test run? South Korea just didn't take a shortcut. He just fell full out open face attempted implementation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried it. But then again, I also think he's trying to take a playbook from what's going over here. And this is why we must always pay attention to what's happening, because that very well could be here too. If the people decide that you don't want this, we can rise and say no. Mm-hmm. Because what's happening and what we're seeing is I won't say all, some of the people have woken up. They've become woke when they see that what Trump said means something different. They misunderstood what he meant. So now that it's actually hitting them, they're like, wait a minute. You mean I'm going to lose my Obamacare? Yeah, you idiot. That's what the Affordable Healthcare Act was. You didn't know that? Or you mean to tell me it might be a nationwide ban on abortion and not just the states? Yeah, how about that? There's so many things that they thought didn't apply to them that they are now seeing it does apply to them.
Yeah.
Another comment here, just Toronado says, this is much bigger than the visible pieces on the checkboard. Remember, it's the small pawns that play a major role on the chessboard.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just Toronado coming in hard. All right. Last conversation piece. Insurance company halts plan to put the time limits on coverage for anesthesia.
Starting with my state.
Where's this coming from?
My state led this. The reason they stopped was because of my state. Okay. So basically, what they wanted to do was to cover the initial part of the anesthesia to put you under. But then if you wanted to stay under while you were being operated on, that the fee was going to come out of your pocket, as well as the fee for the anesthesiologist was going to come out of your pocket. Now imagine, I'll take my last my last surgery, for example, when I had my gallbladder out, because I had some scarring and all that, it was a 6-hour surgery. Okay. So imagine if I had to pay out of pocket for them to keep me under for 5 hours and 45 minutes. That is insane. So Connecticut, here's what happened. Connecticut people heard about it. Blue Cross, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield is it is the largest insurer in the state. United's next. State employees get Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. They were not happy. Guess who are considered state employees that get Blue Cross Blue Shield? Our state lawmakers. Okay, that's the first thing. Second of all, Yale New Haven Health, Yale. Them and Hartford Healthcare are the two biggest healthcare providers in our state. Yale University trains a lot of these doctors, and that people want all over the place, and that Blue Cross likes to fund and all that. Yeah. So Yale was pissed. City employees get Blue Cross Blue Shield. So everybody was. This is what happens when you have a Democratic super majority. This kind of stuff stops. By the end of the day, they said they would not be doing it in Connecticut. Other people kept going. They said they're not going to do it again, period. Because they were going to put it in effect January 1st, 2025. And they just announced it then. People were pissed. Our lawmakers, what I was reading in our local papers, in our local political coverage, because we've got great local political coverage of our legislature, our lawmakers went to them and complained, had meetings with them, our governor, everybody, because these are people who use this insurance.
That's right. So of course they're going to fight for themselves.
Right. So they fought for us, but they fought harder for themselves, right? So, yeah. But that's what happens when you have a Democratic supermajority, which we have in our legislature. And that is why that happened that quick. Any
thoughts on this one, Lala?
I'm just thinking it's crazy. Who comes up with some mess like that? If you are in surgery, this is what do you expect people to do, to wake up? Who's timing it? Like, who is standing in there? Oh, it's time to turn it off. No, who does this? Once again, this is them overstepping with greed.
Yep.
Everything has stopped at greed. How much money is being taken from our pockets? Not the kindness, not care for people. It all boils down to what's in our wallets. We don't care about y'all, but we need to make sure that we're down in the same wallet. It's the same principle as Spotify CEOs getting millions and millions of dollars while the artists are not. Everything comes down to greed.
And it wasn't just surgery. It wasn't just those kinds of surgeries. And think about it. It wasn't just those kinds of surgeries that you're put totally under asleep for. Epidurals.
Yes.
Ladies, when you have a baby, you have a C-section, like I did, you want that epidural to last, because guess who knows what happens when they go to cut you and your epidural does not work? I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
That is not something you want to happen at the last minute, to realize, hey, doctor, I can feel the left side of my body. You might not want to cut me open.
Right.
Yeah. Your endoscopies and all those things. I had an endoscopy, what was the 20th? And I was under, and I was fighting them. So imagine if, and that was,
and I can see Aisha fighting people.
Yeah.
Girl, you can't even get no rest doing surgery, girl.
When I woke up and they said, you were a little difficult there. You were fighting us. I was like, I don't remember. I was out. I was knocked out. They're like, yeah, you were fighting while you were out. And I was like, okay. So imagine that. Imagine waking up with that tube down your throat that they use for those things. One of the worst things I think that ever happened to me was I was having a major surgery and I almost came out of it. I almost came out.
There are people that don't really.
And there are people, yeah.
They have to have extra anesthesia because they're kind of immune to it.
Yeah, and that is a scary prospect, right? So I women who have had cesareans, we know what it's like to look at your insides as you're being cut open. I don't think regular people could deal with it and not pass out. So if you don't want that to happen, you really don't want limits on coverage for anesthesia, right? I don't know why like Lala said, it's about greed, but also too, we've got people who are not medical professionals making these decisions, just like they're making decisions about abortion procedures. I was looking into this. I was we're talking about things that people don't want to cover. we should be even more concerned, particularly as Black women, about this whole abortion part too, about the procedures that they don't want available to us.
Yeah.
My own PCP had to remind me because it's been this long. In 2000, I had cervical dysplasia, which is a precancerous condition for cervical cancer. Black women are more susceptible to this, right? And Black women are more likely to die from cervical cancer.
Yes.
He reminded me that just by looking at my chart, because he wasn't my doctor then, but just by looking at my chart, he said, we probably want to do a more aggressive check on you just because of that. Because remember back then, it says that you had cryotherapy, cryosurgery, and a DNC. I was in South Carolina when I had that DNC.
Wow.
That is a procedure now in South Carolina that they don't want to allow women to have because of the abortion laws. And when he said that, and I thought about it,
yeah.
And when he said that, and I thought about it, I'm like, what? I am so glad that I am not there now if this happened to come back. But the Trump administration, if they're able to do this, who had nothing to say about this limits on coverage for anesthesia? Trump.
Of course not.
Because you know why? His friend, those are his friends. Those billionaires, those are his friends. So the fact that Connecticut was able to stop this, I'm thankful. But the rest of y'all and some of these other states, if they couldn't do it in these few states, they know which states that they can do it in.
Right. And Florida, Texas, and Alabama, and all those, you can forget that.
Mississippi, oh, they're coming after you.
Honey, I can't even get anybody to do anything in Mississippi, and the feds are already there. So I just don't trust nobody.
You can't even get a call back. What makes people think that they're going to be able to get anesthesia for surgery in Mississippi?
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's call it a day wherever you are, daytime, nighttime, anytime. But before we get you to do your sign-offs, I also want to there's a comment that we need to address that was put out there because we'd love to always address the comments as long as they're meaningful comments. Let's see. Just Tornado says, is the 93% really the whole 93%? Because with the way the election map looked, many in the 93% had to, quote, switch sides, unquote, in the ballot box. Who do you trust?
You mean Black women? Because that's who we're talking about when we say the 92%.
I think that's what she means. So going into that thought process.
Because you're really good at numbers.
Right. Black women did not switch sides. The way it was white women who said that they were voting for Trump. For Kamala Harris, and were going into the ballot box and switching sides. There are a lot of reports about women whose husbands were going into the ballot box with them to make sure that they didn't. Because remember, at the very end, the Harris campaign had that ad, or a PAC had that ad with women winking at each other that just because he's doing this doesn't mean you have to go into the ballot box and do this. So that ad was very effective and must have frightened a lot of people. But again, white women voters as a whole, and of course there are exceptions. Please do not start with that. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Okay. But white women as a whole showed us again that they could not be trusted. They don't even trust themselves to vote for someone who looks like them, and that was Hillary Clinton. And then their numbers of supporting the rapist have increased from 2016 to this last election. So it is that number, I think, can be relied upon. What we should be asking the question, just tornado. The question that we should be asking is, how come Democrats have not asked for a recount for this
Thank
past
you.
election, given the fact that six House seats were just flipped and 1 Senate seat. They
Thank
got
you.
it because they hadn't finished counting. Okay. But guess what? We didn't have separate ballots, people. It was one ballot. So that also means if those House seats weren't counted for you to make a determination, then those presidential seats, those presidential votes on those same ballots were not counted. And I want to know what those numbers are, because the way it reads to me is that they just said, guess what? The race has been called, so we're just not going to pay attention to those, but we got to count these. We got to count these Senate votes.
But here's what makes me angry about that, Aisha, and you and I talk about this all the time, is the fact that had this been the other side, honey, they wouldn't have called this. They would have been fighting and we still would be in courts about, okay, the nano report in the county. Look, there's one on a piece of paper that wasn't done. Let's count this one. But no, the Democratic Party has dropped the ball. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I'm very angry with them. There's not very many of them that I really care for. Now, don't get me on Jasmine Crockett, because I absolutely adore her. Like, we need more of her.
Yeah. And one of the things, I actually sent her a post on Blue Sky today, and I asked her, please talk to your colleagues, because the messaging is the issue. And one of the things that I thought about, I just paid a little. Today was like the first time early this morning, listened to some reports and politicians talking, Democrats, whatever, talking about why we lost, all that stuff. And every time they kept saying, well, the middle class, we're doing this for the middle class. And I realized something. And I told her, I said, the messaging is the problem, because fine, talk to the middle class, but when you don't talk to working class people and poor people and you leave them out of the equation, you lost their vote to the couch, because they didn't feel like they were being talked to. If they don't consider themselves middle class,
you assume that you had them.
You assume that you had them because you think that. Here's the thing. One thing that I've noticed: white people can have a two salary household, make only $50,000 for a family of 4. That is basically $11,500 per family member. That is well below the poverty line in this country, but will consider themselves middle class.
Yes.
A Black family of the same is poor and considers themselves as such. So when we use the term middle class, it again is an elitist term where we're only talking to white people who are poor but need to feel otherwise, because being poor is something that we stigmatize as being associated with those people of color, those migrants, those people, but not me as a white person. I'm not poor. I might have to work hard. I might be broke. Oh, I'm poor when it comes to seeing Black people go to college. You're giving them handouts, but I'm poor. But don't call me poor to my face. I'm middle class. And so that the Democratic Party has honed in on using the language of poor white people to attract poor white people who haven't voted for them in 60 years. And it needs to stop. Focus on your base. You want to be the base of the working class? Start talking to the working class people, because most working class people in this country are poor. And guess what? Even if they have a good job, you know what? If you are a working class person, you can have a household that makes $80,000, $90,000 a year. You have 4 kids, 3 in college. You have parents that you are taking care of, a mortgage, car notes, and you have medical bills and conditions. You are poor in this country. Own it. Own it, because until you do, they're not going to do anything for you. Until you do, they're not going to change the language. Own it.
Right. Anything you want to add, LaLa?
Nope, because that was right on the head.
Oh, there we go. All right, 100%. All right. Well, ladies, thank you again for being on earlier today. Now you have some more time to rest after getting all that energy out.
Oh,
But
yeah,
as always, want to
looking
thank.
forward- I'm looking forward to going to listen to my music list with my wine and my popcorn.
It's Christmas movie journey for me. I'm on Christmas movie number 21.
Oh, wow.
Guess what? I'm gonna start tomorrow. I found a bunch of TV Christmas movies with Black characters made by Black people. I'm going to do that all holiday season.
All right.
I like a nice Black rom-com.
All right. Well, want to say, as always, thank you very much, ladies, for taking the time to hang out today. And as always, we want to give you the opportunity to share with what's going on in your world by links. First up, the key lady.
Yeah, I made it really easy for you, but I actually have put up some really new freebies for you.
I have some of them.
Yeah,
I've not read. So what's it? We got this.
Yes, we've got that. That is my store, and I do have a lot of Black ornaments and Christmas items for you there. I even have a Black baby Jesus. So if you want that on your tree, please go to my store. But also, the new year is coming, and I have free budget planners and things of that nature to help you get your finances in order. And you can get that just by going to this one little link, and it's all lowercase, bit.ly/Laura Key Info.
What's this Roots and Riches?
The Roots and Riches is to my store, and I just put some new stuff up.
Okay, good. But also there's this.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you see, I know more about you than you do.
Listen, guys, everybody's talking about, oh, should I leave the country? Should I, and it's a possibility. Open your horizons. But I put together this simple little quiz for you to help you get your juices really going and thinking about, am I prepared to do that? Because there's one thing to say that you're going to do it, and there's a second thing to do it the right way. And you must do it with the right mindset and knowing your limitations and what you need to do it. So this quick quiz will tell you where you are in the process. Are you ready? Are you almost ready? Or heck yeah, let's go. And then it gives you some ideas on what to really think about before you do it. I also have a full video on my YouTube about moving abroad. There you go.
Okay, and you also provided this today.
Yes, down payment assistance. Go do it, because you know what? You never know what they're going to do with these programs. We already talked about who he's putting in over HUD. The first thing they're going to do is try to get rid of money, whereas Harris says she was going to give you $25,000, but no, y'all didn't want that. So listen, y'all need to go to the nonprofit organizations and see who offers down payment assistance. This link will take you to my blog, and it's a breakdown for every state, including DC and Puerto Rico and Hawaii. They're all in there.
Okay, now, just because you got away with everything, there's also a shout out to you.
It is a shout out to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it up here. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna find it. Oh, there we go. Just Tornado says, I haven't seen Lala since Periscope. I'm happy to see her.
You found me again. Oh, wow. That makes my heart so happy. Thank you so much. I missed that platform so much. Hopefully Blue Sky will get the hint and pick up it, and we'll do it there.
Okay, so I think you've dominated the screen for long enough. It's time for Aisha Staggers. Go ahead.
Oh, you can find me on Blue Sky.
Let me just put it up here. Yep. There we go.
You can also find me in our Discord.
Yes, definitely. So thank you so much. And let me put myself up. Like, we don't dominate the digital airways anymore. Like Lala. Lala's got it locked down, man. Lala's locked it down. So a few things. So as always, want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in today. If you want to touch base with me, there are all the places here on the screen. Website, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. That's THEDRVIBESHOW. X/Twitter, Dr. Vibe Show, or DRVIBE excuse me, SHOW, and then email dr period, VIBE at the dr, VIBE@SHOW.com. You can also catch me on Blue Sky. There you go. That's where you catch me on Blue Sky. And also, you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and also the Dr. Vibe Show website, the dr, VIBESHOW.com. And let's do some other things before we sign it off. Let me just do this right quick. So as always, girlfriends chat, catch Aisha LaLa and Jill Jones at Patreon. The link is there. It's also in the comments section on most of the platforms, whether you're watching live on the replay. There's a link for Primetime Saturday Show Store. Join our Discord group. If you haven't joined, even more now, and we've got another Discord group coming. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. If you've done that already, thank you so much. If you haven't, if you're up to it, make it happen. Share the information out with people that you feel would benefit from this. And like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business product or service on any of the platforms that we're at. dr period, VIBE at the dr, VIBESHOW.com. And again, coming up on December 21st at our regularly scheduled time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and Ask Us Anything. So we've got Aisha, LaLa, and we've got hopefully some special guests coming in. So as always, thank you everybody for watching live on the replay. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. Dr. Tate says, such a great conversation. Dr. Tate, can you make yourself available for the 21st? Please and thank you. Calling you out in a good way, by the way. All right, let's do it this way. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect, and just don't manage your time, manage your energy. And always remember to give yourselves grace. God bless, peace be well, keep the faith, and walk good.